There we go. Thank you, hon. Yes, the recording started. Thank you, Jason. All right, listen. I am here with an ex-classmate of mine. His name is Zach. And if you are new here, this is my podcast called At One Last Question. But this is part of a series that I'm doing of my experiences and other classmates' experiences at this Catholic school called St. Patrick's that we went to. Good or bad, doesn't matter. I just wanted to reach out and I wanted to talk to those other classmates. So this is Zach right now. So this is the third episode. We had John and Andrea before, and now this is Zach. So
hello. How
hi.
you doing? Hi.
I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm happy you're here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Like I told you, you were actually the first person I reached out to when I thought about doing this. So I really appreciate it. I was a bit nervous about doing it. I really was. I don't know why. I just was, but I really appreciate you being here.
Oh yeah, no problem.
You know? And, it's just a free flowing conversation, that we don't have to only talk about that. We can talk about whatever,
Right.
But my connection with you is that school.
Right.
But before we also did talk that we had other experiences together, outside that school. Like
Right.
I spent like I said, your mother taught me how to like string like popcorn onto a thread and put it on the Christmas tree. Like,
Right.
that's a good memory. I don't know why I was there. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know unless maybe it was something. Was it at our house or was it something to do with Knights of Columbus? And we weren't members, but we did go. I mean, obviously, the church was up doing stuff at the Knights Hall or whatever. So
Yeah.
maybe we were decorating, and she just. I don't know. I mean, who knows? It's hard to say.
It was at your house. And I remember it because I also remember your mother talking to me about the Challenger exploding, and she was upset about it. Like I always saw your mother, one is very beautiful woman. I always looked at her and thought she was so beautiful. Like she was so pretty. And she was very kind and very like not scared to like show her emotions, right?
Right.
And I think that was it wasn't the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always remember her like that. But and who knows? It was a long time ago. Maybe my memory is whatever. But that's what I remember.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we definitely did that. So I mean, that's something that, as a kid, we did every year. Probably
the popcorn thing.
The popcorn thing is something we did every year as a kid. Now I don't remember when we stopped, but yeah, I mean, we used to do that every year. That was part of our Christmas decorating. Or decorating the tree thing was part of it.
Yeah.
Always popcorn, and then sometimes we would put cranberries, kind of like every other, popcorn, cranberry, for to add color, I guess, basically, or whatever. Yeah.
I know my brother, and it was my brother was there with me, and like I said, I don't know why we were there, but we were, and I just always remembered that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I did.
It's cool. Yeah. No, we probably had a lot of people in our reality from the church and school because we live so close.
You did.
You could just kind of run down the road and boom, you were at the house.
Yeah, you did. You lived very close. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, we were close. I mean, but you had John that was right up the street from me. And then Melissa Masters lived right across the street from the church also.
Really?
Yeah, there was a field. It's like I lived down the road, down Davisville is where I lived. She basically, if you were standing, let's say in the gym or in that concrete area we called the gym.
Yes.
And look
the outside pavilion.
So if you look towards the road, go across that road, Melissa lived in that neighborhood right there.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. Okay. I've gone to Melissa's house many times. I just don't remember it being that close to the church.
Yeah.
I did know that you guys were, and and John was too.
Yeah.
He was close to the church too. Yeah. That's
Kathy
why
Quillen was up the road. I don't know if you remember Kathy Quillen.
Yes.
She went to school with us as well. Her and Cody lived, if you left the school, hang a right, and they lived up that way.
Yeah. She was a very close friend of mine. I spent a lot of time with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, you're right. She did live close to the church as
Yeah.
well too. I didn't. I lived we called it the country.
Right.
It was off of Moffett Road. It was
Okay.
like off that dirt road, like all the way
Right.
down. I don't know. We were in like this
Kip
little wood.
McConico? Were you by Kip McConico?
Oh,
The
I don't
ballpark?
know.
Like a ballpark called Kip McConico?
You know what we were okay, what I can remember us being by, there was some type of mill and it always made the place smell really bad. I don't
Hmm.
the paper mill?
Paper mill? But is that
That's where
mom?
we were by.
So you were okay.
We were like
I don't
farther
remember.
away.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we were by. Um, I remember that. But yes, you guys lived very close.
Right. Yeah. We were in walking. I mean, easily.
Yeah.
Everything's walking if you have the time. But we were. I mean, we literally you could get there probably 3-4 minutes if you walked at a regular pace.
Right. Did
But
your did your parents spend a lot of time with church people?
not really.
Mm.
Um, I mean, like we would have priests come down. So Father Ed would come down, Father
Mhm.
Linehan would come down and like
Mhm.
have a beer with my dad and just kind of hang out, because they would go on
Yeah.
their walks. Well, being
Yeah.
that we were close, we were just kind of in the area and they would stop in and then they also so my grandma lived next door to us. Well, my grandma was at St. Patrick's probably daily, to be honest with you. She
Mhm.
did a lot of stuff for the church outside of just going to mass. I mean, she did a lot of stuff. So she was friends with like personal friends with all the sisters, all the priests, and then even
Mhm.
some of the nuns at whatever that thing was called. What was the I don't
Where
know.
they live?
Yeah, where the nuns lived. Not the
Oh,
not the sisters lived on at St. Patrick, but then we had that other place where all the nuns were, and we'd go to church there every once in a while.
yes. Yeah. Oh, crud.
And I
I
don't
can't
know what that
remember.
place is called.
Oh, I can't remember either.
Yeah.
I know what you're
But
talking about, though.
yeah,
I know
but
what you're
but
talking
she
about.
would go over there as well because I mean she'd been going to that church
I know what you're talking
probably forever. I mean,
about.
so but I think I want to say my mom grew up in that church.
She probably did. If your
So
grandmother was there for so long, she probably did.
right, yeah. I mean, it's so my grandma had known everybody there. So I mean, I think that's also why some of the
Mhm.
priests would kind of make the trip down because they would go visit my grandma, then they would come over, knew they could get a beer
Mhm.
at the house,
Mhm.
and then shoot on back to church. But
Yeah,
but
that's
that's Catholic.
wild.
That's a Catholic thing because you talk to other people at churches, and I mean, you wouldn't dare think about their preacher or whatever you want to call their head guy having a beer, smoking a Father Linehan smoking a cigarette outside of the church
Yes.
when you're walking in to go to mass at
Yes, he
at
would.
10 o'clock or whatever. He's out
Yes.
there puffing a square like no big deal.
Yes, he would. Yeah.
So
Shaking
I
people's
mean,
hands as he's
yeah,
walking in,
yeah.
smoking. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But that I mean, I do think that's just kind of the Catholic that's the we judge on a lot, and I say we as of I mean I really don't I'm not involved so to say, but I mean there is judgment there, but drinking, smoking, hey, you know do what you got to do.
I get it. I don't, yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if that's a typical Catholic thing. Because if you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Right,
other
right,
people's experiences. But if you kind of think about it, like it was such a small town,
right.
the fact that like the priest would just come over, hey, how's it going?
Yeah,
That's not typical because I live here now and it's not a large place I lived in. Never once. You know, the time the priest came over, it was when my mother was passing away. So
right,
that is an odd thing. To me, it is at
right,
least.
right,
Like
right,
it's
right.
an odd thing that you're so involved with these people, right? For me, at least, I feel like my parents, they were friends with church people
Right.
and Knights of Columbus, and it's like that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
I'm trying to think with I mean, I don't really remember because we weren't that I know of. We weren't Knights of Columbus. Like my parents weren't members, And like
Correct.
we would go and do the, they would do the festivals and the cakewalks and stuff like that at the hall or whatever you want to call that place
Hmm.
they had. And we
Yeah.
would go,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
my dad was never, I guess, a member that I know of. He was
Right.
never a member of that or whatever.
Yeah. If he was, I don't recall him. Maybe he was, and just to like, status quo, but he wasn't at stuff. Like we were always at that Knights of Columbus Hall.
Right.
Always. Like that was like what we did.
But is that something I don't
Wild.
even know. Do you sign up for it? Do you have to pay a
Yeah.
fee? I mean, okay. So it's just
Yeah.
like joining a group, a sorority, a frat, or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's like one of those like you pay dues, you know what I
gotcha,
mean?
gotcha. Okay.
And
Yeah, I
then
don't.
to make up for it, that the stuff like you do goes to like nonprofit, like you're a nonprofit or whatever. Yeah. And you're raising money for like retirement homes or the
Okay.
needy, that type of thing.
Right. Okay.
But
Yeah.
they
No,
did a
I
lot
don't.
of like floats and stuff. Maybe were you part of any of that? I know I was always on those floats.
Floats.
And
I don't remember any floats. I don't. I don't remember that.
they
I
were
don't. Yeah.
very, yeah.
That was a big thing with Knights of Columbus,
Yeah,
or
well,
helping build them for the parades, or what? For like the
mhm.
parade. I don't know what kind of parades they have in Lufkin, but whatever they have in Lufkin.
Yeah, whatever like parade or holiday parade or whatever
Okay.
was going on, they did stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Oh, okay.
it was like the only Catholic church in the
Right.
area.
Right.
And so I think that's why it was so heavily involved with that Knights of Columbus,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it was a group they it was a group of organization, like we all have this in common.
Right. Right.
And I get it. I get it.
I think
But
there's two now in Lufkin.
is there?
Well, they split. The St. Patrick's Church split,
Oh,
and they built a new church. I don't know where, but they did. They split, built a new church, and moved. Now there's some dirty rumors about what happened, but I don't know. I mean, that's. But I will tell you, the old St. Patrick's Church is more Mexican, and the
mm,
new one is kind of whiter. Let's just say that. I
mhm.
mean, and that's just kind of now. And
Yeah,
again, I don't go there. I don't. But that's just what I've just heard
yeah.
over the years, that they
Mhm,
got some money together with this group of people, and they said, "Hey, we'll move. No big deal."
mhm.
And then the old people that have been around forever, a lot of them kind of hung out and stayed at the original St. Pat, just because that's just kind of like, this is home. I'm not planning on going nowhere.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I could see how there's that split. I could see
mhm.
that. It, it was like that with when we were. I feel it was like that when we were going there. Brenda, I don't know if you remember Brenda,
We was
Rivera. We actually recently talked about that, and we actually talked like we knew it was happening, but like we were kids, we didn't care about stuff like that. So,
right.
but you could feel it. You could feel it on the outside. But
Yeah,
to us, it was like, who cares? We were
right. Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
So I could see how it could do that. I could see how that could happen. You
It's
know,
all. I mean, it's yeah. It's just people,
it's a
unfortunately.
small town.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
However, they got a little publicity with that one woman.
Who?
She did like she was a YouTuber. I forgot her name, and
In
she was
Lufkin?
from what was it?
In Lufkin or in St. Patrick's?
Lufkin. Yeah. And I was like,
Who's a
"What?" I was
YouTuber?
on YouTube one day. I will find it. And actually,
Yeah, I don't.
she's very funny, actually. But yeah, she was from Lufkin, Texas,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, it was like wow. And I'm like, "Holy crap, they're on the map, right?"
Yeah, every once in a while, somebody steps up from Lufkin and does something,
So one,
special.
I haven't been there for a very long time, very very long time. But I've heard that it's kind of like a little more built up now. Like
Yes, yes.
when we went there, it was a lot different. You
There
know,
was not a whole lot there,
no,
but
the
no,
mall.
there. I mean, there is there. I mean, when it comes to restaurants and everything else, yes, it has. I was there on Wednesday because I went for Thanksgiving at my uncle's house. So we
Mhm.
did Thanksgiving at my uncle's on Wednesday, and then my wife and kids went down to my sister's house on Thursday to do their Thanksgiving or whatever.
Mm.
But I mean, I'm in Lufkin at least once a month, probably, because all my family still lives there. My
Really?
mom is still there. My dad's still there. My sister and all her family are still there.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, they haven't left. They haven't, I haven't
Yeah.
lived there since 95 is
Okay.
when I moved. I moved in
Yeah.
95.
That's really
So
cool. That's why, yeah, that's cool. They
yeah.
still have like they kept their roots there. It's kind of wild, you know.
Right. And
Um,
I don't think they like it. They don't know any different. So hey, it's great.
that's right. That's right. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know any different until like I moved here. So I totally get it. I totally get it. I probably wouldn't have moved away either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I was thinking back, and I know you and I talked a little bit about it, I don't remember if you were there. I remember knowing you when I was in 6th grade, you were 5th. You
Right.
told me that like they combined the classes. I didn't
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
until you told me. I don't remember you being there before that. When did you start going to school there?
Kindergarten.
You did.
Yeah. So I was there the
Wow.
entire time. Uh, so I would have been. I'm a year behind you, but I mean, yeah, You would have been first grade when I
Okay.
started. But yeah, I remember Kevin,
My
and I
brother.
think that yes, I think more than likely because he was my sister's age, so
Yes.
I remember him. But yeah, I don't really. I mean, it was probably when I think of you, I think of Melissa, and I don't. But
Masters?
that's the
Well, we
yeah,
knew her as
that's the
Masters at the time.
yeah.
Okay.
That's who I
Mhm.
think of in those days. When I think of you,
Mhm.
I always think of her right there
Mhm.
next to you doing something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we were doing. So
Yeah.
that is,
We were very
and I
close. Yes.
don't remember when we like met, so to say. But yeah, I was there. I was there the entire, all 7 years. I was there.
Yeah. I started there in kindergarten as well. The only time I didn't go there was 4th grade.
Mm,
Um, but I was talking with John and we were trying to remember the teachers. And I was saying kindergarten I thought was Sister Maximus. They were
I
all
think
nuns. They were
Sister
nuns.
Marie,
She was
or was she first grade? Maybe
she was first.
Raphael was second.
Yes. That was her sister. They were actually sisters.
Oh, I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
they used to go place with
That's
my
what I've always
grandma.
thought.
Yeah, they
What was
used to
that?
go place with my grandma.
Say it
Like
again. I'm sorry.
my grandma would go pick them up, and they would like go and shop. I don't know what they would go do, but they would go do stuff.
I, that's what, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Sister Nicholas. I'm sure you remember
Yes.
her.
Yes. She was mean.
Mean.
Yeah.
She drove with us on vacation. So,
Ooh.
like, when I say like that's not a normal thing, right?
Right.
When your nun teachers are going shopping with you. Yeah, we were going to Chicago because we have family in Chicago. And so every year we would we would drive from Texas to Chicago.
Hmm.
She had family somewhere in between there. I don't recall what state.
Right.
She drove with us. So she's literally like in our vehicle with us for over 24 hours. Like
Was
it
she
was,
friendlier?
she was,
I figured just out of that classroom, she's kind of free to.
she was. But it was weird. I remember my brother and I being like feeling very like, I don't like this is what's going
Right.
on? You know, you don't
Yeah.
want to be around your kid. And she was mean.
Right. Oh yeah. Very. Yeah.
Mean.
I'd been hit with a couple rulers by her. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I think she the one that would pull your ear? Was that her?
She grabbed
Or
you
was
by
that
your
another one?
arm. She grabbed you underneath your arm.
Maybe
The
that's what
other
it
ones
was.
with the ear.
There was somebody. One of them did the ear. They would kind of
Yeah.
grab your ear and kind of like
I
pull.
think that was Raphael.
Maybe okay.
Yeah. Nicholas would do this arm thing, man.
Mm,
She maybe some like secret covert, like top secret FBI people taught her this move because it
right.
would bring you to your knees, man.
She
What?
might have been undercover. She might have been,
Woo,
like a CIA agent or something that we just didn't know about. Because yeah, she had some tricks,
woo, wee, and she turned on you quick,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She was quick. She was quick. But yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. But up after third grade, I think it went into regular teachers. No more sisters, if I remember correctly.
Well, Sister Nick was fifth
Fourth.
grade.
Oh, was she fifth? See,
Yeah.
she wasn't there when I was, so she didn't have, because I had Miss Ponson, fifth grade Miss
It's
Ponson.
right. Well, okay.
So
Okay.
maybe she left, and maybe that's why Miss Ponson had to take over fifth grade. Maybe.
Probably because she did have a drinking problem. So maybe that was part of it. She did. She did. I know. But like, no, I remember her sitting at her desk and she would be drinking.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's I mean, it's crazy too because our classes were 8 people, 9 people, and you got to drink to handle 9 people. I mean, but I mean, she
Yes.
probably had other stuff going on, and she just,
Sure.
needed a
Of
few
course.
drinks to take care of some
She's
things.
yeah. She was a nun, of course.
Right? Yeah. No, it's
Yeah. Yeah. I remember there was a time where they actually had to come get her because she was pretty wasted and belligerent.
oh wow. So maybe that's kind of what happened with
Maybe
her
that is what
not being
happened.
there. Is they were like, hey, look, it's time for you to just go
Maybe.
sit in the back of the house and hang out and do your own thing.
The monastery, is that what it was called?
Monastery is where the nuns were. That's where the
That's where
nuns
they
were.
lived. The
That's where they
monastery.
lived or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Because the sisters that lived on property, Sister Marie Raphael, they had a little house. I'm trying to think where it was, but they were right there on the property because the priest lived there also.
Yes.
But I don't remember where their house actually was. Their housing. I don't know. Anyway, they lived on the property. I do know that because
Yes.
they didn't have to drive to get to
Mm-mm.
school or nothing. They lived right there.
Yes, they lived there.
So
I remember my mother going there and they lived there. Yeah, that was wild. Maybe it was part of the church. I don't know. I know they all lived there though. I know
yeah,
they
yeah,
did.
yeah,
They
yeah.
all lived there.
You know what? Coming out of the church, if you come through the crowd room, I don't know if you remember where the crowd room is,
Yes.
but if you come through the crowd room, there was a covered walkway. Maybe that went to their
Mm,
house, but I don't know. I
maybe.
mean, I never went into their. I
No.
never had a priest ask me to come back to his room, so I never
Right.
had that.
Woo,
I
you
never
got
had
lucky.
that. Yeah, I never had that. So I never made that walk. That might have been the one, the dangerous walk that I just somehow missed. I don't know. So
You got lucky.
I, I mean, lucky, or I mean, you call it what you want to call it. I mean, maybe it wasn't luck. Maybe that's good experience. I don't know. I
Right.
mean, hey,
Um,
but
yeah, I remember actually when my Father Linehan, he was a nice man. He was. That's how I remember him.
mhm,
When my mother was passing away, we got a hold of him because she loved him dearly,
right.
and he talked to her, and he was an old man himself,
Oh
like
yeah. Well, he
old
was
man
old when I was
himself.
a kid.
Yes,
So I
right,
mean, yeah.
right.
I don't know how old he was, but he had to be old. I mean, he's.
Ooh, yeah. Oh,
But Father Ed's still around.
I've heard that.
He is a bishop somewhere. So he's worked his way,
Yeah,
up higher in the hierarchy or whatever. I don't know what it's called. But anyway,
yeah.
he's worked his way up, but he's a bishop somewhere. My mom sent me a write up in the Lufkin Daily News, but it's been a while. I mean, it's not anything, it's not new.
Mhm.
But he's on Facebook, I think.
I've seen him on Facebook a few
I
times.
think
I
I
have.
didn't friend request him. So I mean, he doesn't want to see what I post. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get
know.
it.
He might want to see what I post. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I don't, my mom doesn't want to see what I post. So I'm sure Father Ed probably has no interest.
Right.
So,
I get, yeah.
yeah.
So, and okay, so you don't have to answer if you don't want. I don't want to get too personal or whatever, but after leaving, like I'm not much of a believer, so
Right.
to say, right?
Right.
John and I talked about that, if you want to talk about that, like how do you feel? Like where are you at
I,
right now?
I don't, I mean, I really don't believe in anything, so to say. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess part of me hopes there's something better
Yep.
just because
Yeah.
it would be nice. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to be like, I'm done here and I'm
Mhm.
something wonderful. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I mean, I think we just go on the ground and grow
Yeah.
some flowers. I mean, it's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know, or whatever, you know, but yeah, I don't. But even when I was there, I participated, right? Because we had to.
You had to.
It's like saying the Pledge of Allegiance, right? You stand there,
Absolutely.
you look at the flag, you just repeat what you've memorized
Yeah.
for your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All that was the same to me. The Our Father, the Hail Mary, the everything you say during church. I mean, I was an altar boy at one time, so we did all that.
Mhm.
We carried the little cross. You know, I never I never felt away. I never got anything. It was just kind of like, well, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I say, then I go this and then, you know, I mean, it was never like you see the people that break down in tears and this and that. It
Mhm.
really touches them or whatever. No, I've never,
Yeah.
that was just never a thing. And
Yeah.
I never got confirmed. I never went through that process.
Really.
No. So my parents got divorced
Mhm.
probably third, fourth gradish, somewhere around there.
I
My
do
parents
remember.
got divorced. Well, in
I
the
do
Catholic
remember.
Church,
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
you're not supposed to go to church anymore, really, because you know, got divorced, blah, 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 whatever.
You're not supposed to be able to take because I'm divorced too, but I after I left, I like you, I was still going through the motions, right?
Right,
I
right.
still put my kids went to I sent them to like we call it PSR here
Okay.
in CCD in
Yeah, yeah,
Texas.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did that first communion, baptism. I did all that. I still was going through the motions, and then I did get divorced, but I wasn't allowed to take the host,
Communion, the
right?
host, yeah.
Communion,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I remember that,
Yeah.
like
So my
thinking like,
parents, once
what
they
the heck?
split, right, once they split, they like we would still go, but not like we lived with my mom, but I mean we would still go, but
Mm,
I don't know. We didn't do it a lot, right? And then so once I got out of school there, to a point I was free.
mhm,
And I didn't now if I, you know, if we would have stayed with the church and like my parents would have stayed together, stayed with the church, I'm sure I would have followed through the ranks, right? And done whatever else there was to do. But
mhm.
yeah, I mean, with the divorce and with us kind of moving away from the church being guilt, whatever it was, I don't know. But
No,
we kind of moved out of the church and weren't
mhm,
really doing this stuff no more,
yeah,
only at school. Like I would go to church every Friday with school, you know, but yeah, once I got out of seventh or sixth grade and then went to public school, my church days were pretty much, you know, my dad picked it back up probably my eighth grade,
mm,
ninth grade area. My dad would go. So, like on the weekends that I'd be with him, we would
mhm,
have to go on Sunday or Saturday night, whichever one we did.
mhm.
But I mean, but that didn't, I mean, it was, we did it for a little bit and then it kind of like dwindled again. So
Yeah,
it's, yeah. But me personally, I've never gone to church outside of my parents making me go, I guess. I mean, I went with girls, you meet girls, right? You start dating, come to my church. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But there's always other motives. I mean, I'm just trying to hang out with you. I ain't gonna give a shit. You know, so
ah,
I mean, that was kind of like the motive. It wasn't really
right,
religion related. I mean, you
right,
know, but yeah, I mean, so I've gone to church like that. But
yeah,
just for me to wake up on a Sunday morning and go, hey, no, I've never done nothing like that.
yeah,
So yeah. And
yeah.
my
I don't
family,
know.
like my kids aren't any, my
Mhm,
daughter's been to church twice and it scared her both times. But she also went to, I don't know, different. It wasn't Catholic church. It was something different, but she just said it scared her.
yeah,
And I don't think my son's ever, no, probably not. I don't think I've never, I mean, obviously I've never taken him. So, oh, you know what? A funeral. He
mm.
went to church for a funeral. But other than that, yeah, no.
What about Cassie, right?
Casey.
Casey, I'm sorry. What
Her
about
kids went to
Casey?
St. Patrick's. So
Yes, she did.
her kids went to St. Patrick's.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Okay.
her kids went there and then but like I don't her and like going to church on Sunday and all that stuff, it never really. Now, I mean, it never stuck with her as to that
Yeah.
she goes on a regular basis because she doesn't go to any other church that I know of either. It's
Hmm.
just kind of like, you move on, you kind of get your own, do your own thing or whatever. But her kids did go. I don't know if they went all the way to sixth grade, but
Mm.
they did go for a little bit. And then, but I mean, she went there the entire time, just like I went there. We both
Mm.
did 7 years at St. Patrick's.
Yeah, I do remember I do remember her being there. I do
Yeah,
remember she was there. Um, I think that she was.
she's
I
two
think
years older than you, or she's two grades
okay.
above you. So you'd been fourth grade when she was like graduating or whatever.
Mm, I know that her and my brother knew each other
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Um, I think that my brother was in the same grade with your other
Ashley.
sister,
Yeah,
Ashley.
yeah.
I
So
think
she would have been three. Is your brother 3 or 2 years older than you, or 3 years older than you, somewhere around
he's
there?
actually 4. He's actually 4.
So because Casey's 3 years. Ashley was 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So Ashley's four. So 73. I'm 77.
I'm
Probably
76.
70, 73. I guess maybe is when you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So yeah, she would have been. But I'm trying to 84. I don't. That's when she got killed was 84.
Mm.
So, but I want to say she was in
Was she in 6th grade?
fifth or sixth. I want to
Yeah.
say that she was at the end of like St. Patrick's area.
Yes.
My mom wouldn't know exactly, but yeah, I mean, because she was 11 or 12. So yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
sixth grade-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, so she made it all the way through. Or I guess she didn't make it all the way through. She made it till I think she died in October. So
Mm.
she made it half a year of her sixth grade year. But
Yes,
but
they
yeah, no,
were at the end. I do remember that. My brother was very fond of her. He had like
yeah,
a big crush on her. So I do remember it was towards they were 5th or 6th grade. I
that
remember that.
red
Yeah.
hair attracts each other, so
Right? They got those 2 redheads. Yeah, that's what yeah. It was probably part of it. Um
the only two in luck,
Probably,
from
right?
our
You
from
like
our
it.
knowledge, hey, from our knowledge that they might have been the only two in Lufkin. But I mean, there was outside of Lufkin that we didn't
I know.
know so
Right.
much about till later on in life. Yeah, oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
We were in this little bubble,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? Kept in that bubble for sure. For sure. It's wild. So how did you speaking of that, like how did you adjust? Because I know when I left the school and I moved here right after 6th grade.
Okay.
And I live like maybe like what 20-25 minutes from Cleveland, whatever. But I didn't go to like a rough school. I went to a very suburban, white suburban,
Right.
upper, middle to upper class. So it was fine. But it was still an adjustment for me. Like I was not used to being able to speak when you're
Right. Right. Right.
walking somewhere,
Right.
or
Right.
if how was your adjustment going from that to junior high, I guess, right?
Seventh grade Dunbar. So we
Dunbar.
had we had intermediate and then we had junior high, but
Yeah.
it was weird because I didn't really know anybody, and it's weird, right? There was 8 of us, give or take 7, 8, 9. I don't know. Anyway, under 10. Let's just go there. Under 10 that
Hmm.
were in our sixth grade class,
Hmm.
and every one of us went to Dunbar. So it's not like only 2 of us. We all went to Dunbar, but for whatever reason,
Was it the
it's
only school? Wasn't it the only
yes,
school?
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Dunbar was the only school. If you were in Lufkin, Dunbar was the only seventh
Yes.
grade. That's
Right.
where you would went. That's where you would go. But like we knew each other, we grew up with each other, but a lot of us didn't like. I mean, we left sixth grade and hit seventh grade, and everybody just
Mhm.
went there. But I mean, I don't really remember talking on phones in those days. I don't. So
No.
I mean, it's not like we kept up with people over the summer. You would just see them at the beginning of the year again and go, hey.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there might be like Cody, I would kind of see here and there. But yeah, I mean, it almost seemed like we walked into seventh grade solo. And it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, because I was always kind of an awkward kid.
Mm.
And I say awkward not in a bad way, but I mean, just different. I had long hair. I had, just
You
different
did.
stuff. Yeah.
You had a mullet. You had a mullet
Yeah.
as a young
Yeah.
kid. Yes, you
Yeah.
did. I do remember you were kind of like Cody was like the class clown.
Mhm.
You were kind of like the like cool boy, like the bad boy, right? You wore
Right.
Converse, you
Yeah.
had like a mullet, you were like outspoken or whatever, like you were kind of like the cute little bad boy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always had,
That was your role.
right. Yeah. I always, but yeah, I mean, so I was used to, I guess, people kind of like, okay, whatever.
Mm,
So when I went to seventh grade, I just kind of like filed in and just kind of did, I mean, I ended up making friends. And I mean, I used to see everybody, like all
mm.
of my St. Patrick's classmates. You would run into them all
Hmm.
throughout high school and everything. But
It's
yeah, I
interesting.
mean, it's kind of one of those. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You would think we spent all that time together.
Yep.
We would have like stuck and been like in seventh grade. And this is our little crew, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
No. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
Kathy had friends. I do remember that because she had friends because she played softball.
Kathy,
I
yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I knew some people because I did play like little league baseball. So
Mm.
I knew some kids that way or whatever. So I mean, I wasn't completely like, but I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it's you just kind of get there and you're like, oh, and the school's huge compared to St.
Yep.
Patrick.
Yep.
And I mean, I've been in school where the last 3 years I've had 7, 8, 9, 10 people in my class. Now I've got
Hmm.
5, I got third,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shock, but I guess at the same time, I was just kind of like, okay. I'm just going to go sit in the back of the class, put my head down, and, I mean, try to get
Mhm.
this shit going. That was kind of, I
Well,
didn't
I
know anything.
think, yeah, I think that's how I think that's, I don't, because this word means harsher than I mean it. I think that's kind of how we were groomed to be. But I don't mean groomed in that way.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It was
Right.
just the discipline that we had.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
was, you're going to deal. You're here. You're going to deal. You're going to figure,
Yeah.
just stop. Just like be in this, right?
Well,
Like,
see,
like
with
we
Cody
knew how
being
to
the class,
contain ourselves. We knew how
right.
to close it off and just right.
Yeah. Well,
That's how I
Cody
feel.
being the class clown and
Mhm.
always clowning, always loud and
Always. He
everything
was.
else,
Mhm.
I put a pencil in his head in
You did
sixth
what?
grade.
You did what?
So the teacher leaves, Miss Ponson leaves to go somewhere. I don't know where she went.
Okay.
And we're all sitting in class. And, she and our teachers leave and go, okay, do this, be quiet, whatever. They
Yeah.
tell you be
Oh,
quiet or
oh
whatever.
yes, they would
The door
before they
closed,
would
right?
leave.
And yeah,
Yes, before
everybody's
they
like,
would
no, no,
leave.
no, 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 talking.
Yeah.
So, and you would kind of have to plan it like, how long is she going to be gone? Because then you're like, I got to be quiet before she gets back in here. So in the
Yes.
beginning, we kind of did our thing. Everybody's talking and doing whatever.
Yep.
And then it kind of got too long. And I was like, all right, everybody, let's settle down because I don't want to get in trouble, right? Well, Cody's across the room and he's still, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was saying, but he was still, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Cody, shut up.
Yes. Yes.
And he didn't. And I had a pencil in my day. I grabbed a pencil and I threw it across the room. That motherfucker stuck right between, like, in his forehead. And I was like, oh. And I just sat there. I was like, and then she comes back in and I'm almost positive. And it didn't hurt him, so to say. I mean, but it stuck. I mean, it stuck in his head, but it didn't like hurt him or it didn't. But I'm almost positive we went to the office. And they had to, they were like, what was it? I was like, I didn't want to get in trouble and he wouldn't shut up. That's what, and they were like, that's why I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to get in
Yeah.
trouble. I
Because
said,
I'm
him
scared to
talking
death
gets
of my.
me in trouble.
Yeah. Right. I'm scared to death of my teacher.
Yeah.
Of course. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You're
So,
right.
yeah.
Before they would leave, they would say,
Oh, yeah.
nobody move,
Mhm.
no one talk, no one do anything. You keep doing your work. Oh, I remember that. And then yes, they'd leave, and we all kind of like look at each
Right.
other, and start.
But you always had to time it because you're
Yes,
like,
we
when they
did,
come back, I've
because
got to be quiet again.
they knew if they came in and we just stopped talking, they knew. So we had to give it a few minutes before they came in. So we would be
Right.
like,
But yeah, no,
okay,
and I
that's
mean,
not normal.
me and Cody never had beef. Like over it, it was just kind of like a, oh my
Dude, you're
God, I
killing
can't
us.
believe you did that. But it just kind of was like, hey, I mean, I just didn't want to get in trouble. That's all it was. I
Right.
didn't want to get in trouble. So,
Yes. It's like, dude, you're killing us, man. You know how
yeah,
this is supposed to go.
yeah. I mean, we got to stick to the program here, and we got to shut up before she comes back, or we're going to get in trouble.
Before you had to have a good minute before she came back because she
Oh
would
yeah,
know.
oh
Because
yeah,
she'd come in and she would look.
yeah,
She would look at us.
yeah.
So
So
we did. We had to time it. You're right.
yeah, but yeah, no. So yeah, me and Cody got in, well, I got in trouble. I don't. Cody really didn't get in trouble. He just had to go there because he was part of the. And I don't even remember what I got. I mean, I didn't. I say I got in trouble. It's not like I was suspended. I mean, they didn't.
They didn't paddle
I
you?
mean, no, I never got paddled at that school. I do
My
remember
brothers
people
did all
getting
the
paddled.
time.
Yeah, I never got paddled, but I was
Me
more
either.
scared of going home and telling my dad I got paddled. So, like, I just would
Yeah.
basically try to keep my shit straight at school because I don't want to go home and have to go, Dad, guess what happened? I mean, because you have to go home and tell them what
Mhm.
happened. So, yeah, the only time I got in trouble for wearing a jacket, and they made me take my jacket off, and they banned my jacket. I could not wear my jacket to school.
Why? What was on your jacket?
It had a dagger on the back of it. I was into skating, right? And
Yes,
the
you were a skateboarder. Yes.
bone
Yes.
brigade, and the dagger with the whatever. And it was a black jacket, and on the back, I don't remember what all it had, but it had a big dagger, sword, whatever you want to call it, on the back.
Hmm.
And they said that it resembled a cross, but
It was
what it
sacrilegious,
was
right?
sacrilegious, and
Hmm.
Miss Robertson, I don't remember, whatever her,
Miss
one of
Roberts.
those,
She
Robert.
was the principal, Miss Roberts.
Right. So I got sent to her, and then
Hmm.
she looked at it and was like, "Yeah, we figured out that's not what we want here." So, like, for the rest of the day, I turned it inside out so I could still wear a jacket, and then I just never wore it. But I mean, that's the few things I got. And there was stuff like that. I mean, I never got in trouble for anything else really. But again, it's a lot of it. It was mainly because I didn't want to go home and tell my
Yeah.
parents, hey, I did this, I did that. So
Oh, yeah. And they didn't want that either. They just wanted you to feel bad.
yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah,
I got, when I say in trouble, I remember twice. I My sister's boyfriend Steve, he was into this band Kiss. He was into that band
hmm,
Kiss, and it was like a rock. He went to the concert, and it was like a rock magazine type of
oh,
thing,
okay,
and I smuggled it in my book bag.
uh-oh,
And Miss Ponson used to go through our stuff. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so she was, yeah, like what the fuck is that? Anyway, I'll shut up.
But I don't, yeah, I
Don't
don't.
even
But I
get me
mean,
started with
they
that
had
shit.
no rules, I guess, so they could just do what they. I mean, it was in their classroom; they could do what they wanted to.
We were in sixth grade. What do we?
Yeah,
What? Anyway, so she found it. Of
right.
course, the day she decides to go through, whatever. And she called me up to her desk. She's like, "Oh, what is this?" Because it was. I didn't realize at the time that it was not appropriate. I really didn't. It truly was women like in lingerie, you
Right,
know. It was. I didn't realize. I just thought the band was cool.
right, yeah, 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 yeah.
That was it. And I wasn't looking at it, but
Right,
they would go through our shit.
yeah.
And then she called me up and she was like, "Oh, what is this? What is this?" And she was like, "That's disgusting. You're disgusting." I remember her saying that. And I was like, and I was so like, oh my God, she's going to tell my parents. Oh my
Right.
God, I'm in trouble. But that was it. It didn't go any further than that.
Did she
But
give you the magazine back?
yeah, she put it back in
So
my,
you got
my
it back to take it home.
yep,
Hmm.
yep,
She just wanted to shame you a little bit and go,
yep,
hey, and then,
yeah,
okay, just don't bring it back.
yeah.
So, Yeah,
It's wild,
I
man.
mean, I don't remember Kiss being, and I mean, maybe I don't remember Kiss being, and maybe you said the lingerie and stuff, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I can
I
see
don't
why
really
they.
remember, that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, I can totally see why, like, they would be like, "Oh my God," we were in a Catholic school.
Right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
see the nudity. I just thought the band was cool,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to
Yeah.
tell you, like, you're disgusting, like, that's a little weird.
Right.
And why were they going through our stuff anyway?
Yeah.
Why are you
Trying to
going through our
find
book bags? Because that's what
right.
they did.
Yeah. Well, we would set them down on the ground, or they had
They were hanging
did they have
sometimes,
a cubby hole,
cubbies.
or
Yeah.
was it hanging? I can't remember what, but yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah. We
yeah,
had little,
I
like,
mean,
boxes. And
yeah,
yeah, and she would go through 'em. Like, what the?
yeah. I don't unless
Really
yeah,
skip.
I don't know. I don't know what. Obviously, she wanted to see your Kiss magazine. That's all it was. She wanted to look at
Well,
your Kiss magazine. She was
you know,
interested.
when you want to find something, you're going to find something, right?
Oh
If you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
find something bad, if that's what you're looking for, you're going to find it. But that's the type of stuff that's stuck with me, and it's like there's no purpose for that. There's no
Right.
purpose for that. And it did change, like, the way that I parented my children. You have children, correct?
Yes, yes. I have
Yeah.
two.
Did that affect your way of how you parented?
Uh a little bit. I mean, I guess the way now when it comes to school, I was never I had a lot of stress on me school wise, making
Mm,
straight A's, making, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like I had to have good grades, this and that, whatever.
mm,
I always
okay.
felt a lot of stress. So with my kids, I was kind of like, whatever. Just,
Right.
I mean, you need to learn it, but you don't have to be the top of the class. I could care less.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
good or bad, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, that wasn't a big deal to me. But
Gotcha.
I mean, my kids have had it. But my mom was very laid back. Like my mom was
Mhm.
not very strict. I mean, if you were honest with her,
Mm.
and my dad, I guess the same. I mean, they had the curfew, blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, they kind of we could go and do stuff, and it wasn't super strict. If I was going to a party, I could just be like, and this is high school wise, but I mean, I'm going to a party, and it was just kind of like, be careful, don't da 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 da.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's how I am with my kids. Well, my
Mhm.
son just left not that long ago to go to College Station. That's an hour and a half away because College Station is playing University of Texas. Their big rivalry game starts at started
Wha
at 6, I guess.
I don't know what that is. Is it a sport? I don't know
College
what it is.
football, college
Oh,
football.
okay. Okay.
College football. So yeah, he decided that he was gonna go up there. Okay, I mean, have fun, be careful, don't be
Yeah.
stupid. I mean, if you need something, call
Yeah.
me. But yeah, I mean, so I've been very relaxed. But my parents were relaxed as well. My parents weren't super strict. I'm the baby also, and maybe that's part of it. I'm the baby, so like my sister had a little more problems
Mm.
than I had just because one, she's a girl, which sucks, but she's a girl and she was the first one going through it.
She was feisty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. She still
She
is, but
was.
yeah,
She
yeah.
was feisty. I remember her. I remember being a little afraid of her. She
Yeah.
was feisty. She
And I mean,
was.
I mean, there's
At a
people
young
now that,
age.
well, so she runs a course at Angelina College right there in town.
Okay.
And there's students that have said, "Oh, your sister's kind of like, yeah." I mean, she can be very to the point and just here, this is it.
I
And
remember her like that as a child. I remember, like I said, I remember being a little afraid of her. Like, she
yeah,
was intimidating, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. She was
She,
feisty.
she's still. I mean, in all reality, she's still. I mean,
Good.
I've been beat up a few times from her, but that's just I'm the little brother. Of course,
Yeah.
I've been pushed down or whatever. I mean, that's just part of it. But yeah, no, she could be. But I think a lot of it was she was a middle child for a while. So
Yes.
you figure being that middle child, you kind of
And
you
then
got the
losing the first one, and now you're the first. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
hard
So
situation.
yeah, I do think that was part of
Mhm.
what maybe molded her to be who she is or was or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
but yeah, she's still. I mean, she can be very stern and just this is it. So yeah, she can be
Well,
intimidating.
we're not saying anything bad about
No,
her.
no, 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 no.
I just remember her being very strong. She
Yeah,
was like a strong, and for a young child in a Catholic school, that was different.
right,
Like she was strong. She really was. She was. And she obviously had to be that way, you know?
right. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's crazy.
And it did put her in a weird situation. Like you said, she was the middle, but then she becomes the
Oldest.
first, the
Yeah.
oldest. Right? Jason, my husband and I, we talk about I have a son with my ex-husband, and Jason and I have two boys together too. Um, so we have a middle son who is in the middle with my three,
Hmm.
but he's also the oldest with his other brother.
Oh,
So
okay.
it puts him in that little weird situation.
Right,
And you can see little like you can see like the little personality thing, right? Like
right, 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 right.
yeah, it's the same type of thing. Like he can take charge and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But now, are your kids, I guess, self-reliant, can they take care of themselves? Or do they need mom and dad to like come in and cut my food for me and shit? Because I see kids that are like 16, 17, and damn near don't even know how to put their own underwear on. They're like, I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? But
Um,
my kids are they can take care of them. I mean, they're very just, they'll just do whatever they got to do they're, I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway, I mean, they take care of themselves fairly
yeah,
well.
they're self-sufficient and they want to be,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
um, I would say, honestly, yes, they can do it.
Yeah.
Do all of them do it? No. I mean, I'm not cutting their food for them, but
Right.
I, I, I'm probably an enabler towards that. Like I go to I think I go out of my way a little more to
Right.
like, let me do this for you.
Right. Right. Right.
But I think that has to do with, it's, I was an addict and, da, 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 and the guilt and
Right.
all that stuff. Right.
Right.
But yes, absolutely. If Jay and I were to move away to, tomorrow, yes, they know how to survive. They can
Right.
do it. There's certain aspects that they need to fix,
Yeah. Yeah.
but, they could do it. They wouldn't crumble, but,
Right.
yeah, I probably, like I said, I probably enable some of that behavior. Not probably, I do. I
Right.
enable
Yeah.
that behavior, because I was never really a strict mother. Uh, and if I probably was a little more like, no, you're going to do this. Like I was always like, I worried about their feelings and, well, what do you want to do? You know what I
Right.
mean? I
Right.
was a
Right.
little
Right.
like that, like, well, let's talk about this. And,
Right.
you know, if
Yeah.
I was a little different, they probably would be more like how, your
Yeah.
children, they want to be like that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Your kids. How
Right.
many
Yeah. Yeah.
children
Yeah.
do you have?
I have two.
Okay. Boy,
19. No, I've got
boy,
a boy and a
girl,
girl.
a boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl. So
Nice.
20. My daughter just turned 20, and then my son is 17. He'll be 18 in May.
Okay.
So this is graduate. He's graduating this
Yeah.
year. So this is his senior year.
Yeah.
So, but now he's a mama's boy. So with me, he's not cut my food and pick out my clothes. With his mama now, yeah, she'll kind of help him do. He
Yeah.
can't even like pick where he wants to eat. I mean, we went through this earlier a couple hours ago when we went to eat. He was like, "I'm hungry." Okay, well, what do you want to eat? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so what about this, this, and this?
Yeah.
They all sound good. Well, which one would you like? And they're three different styles of food. It's not like, I mean,
Hmm.
it's not three hamburgers, it's three different Mexican, and I don't know.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
my wife's like, pick one. We'll go wherever you want, pick one. No, I don't. It does. I don't care. I'm like Mexican. I want Mexican food because I'll take Mexican food every time. So I'm like
Mhm.
Mexican. That's fine. If I'm picking, we're going to Mexican food. So that's where we went. But yeah, I mean, he cannot pick to
No, I
save his
get
life.
it. My middle son Harrison, like he's very he thrives to be self-sufficient, right? Mm-mm. My oldest and my youngest, like they don't have their license yet, and I don't know. It's just, but I never really said this is enough. You need to go in there. I just
Right, right,
never
right,
did that. I just kind of felt like, well, I guess they're not ready. Like, I don't know.
right,
And some of it was too, I was an addict. And so I wasn't completely there as much as I needed to be in certain aspects. You know what I mean? So
right, 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 right.
I think that plays a part of it too. But their generations are different, man. I tell them all the time, I don't get you guys. I don't get you. I don't
Right,
get you, man.
right.
I don't get you.
Well, my kids will go to their mom for almost everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the biggest reason is I drive a truck. I'm
Mm.
in and I don't leave weeks at a time, but I do. I mean, most of my work is done at night. So I go to work at 9 o'clock at night. So what am I doing all day? I'm sleeping most
I'm
of the
glad you said that. I meant to ask you about your career. I did
time.
look on your Facebook page a little bit. I stalked you a little
Yeah,
bit.
I drive. I drive for CVS.
Okay, I was gonna say,
I'm
do
a
you drive for CBS?
I'm
Okay.
a I'm a drug dealer. So, I mean, but but yeah, no, I mean I've delivered food. Now I deliver, drugs and front store stuff. And
Right.
I mean, it's so yeah, I mean, I'm gone a day, 2 days sometimes,
Yeah.
I sleep during the day a lot of times. So
Yeah.
my wife has always been the one that if they need something, they call her because they
Sure.
know that she's awake.
Yeah.
She works the regular 9 to 5 or whatever you want to call it, job,
Yeah.
the normal
Yeah.
hour job. She was the one taking them to school, picking them up, you know, all that kind of stuff. I was the one that would pop in and maybe catch a sports, he's playing football tonight. I'd catch that, and then I'd go home and go to bed and then go to work, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just different. But yeah, they'll call her over unless
Yeah.
it's 3 in the morning. And then of course they know dad's up because hell, he's working. He's
He's
driving a truck.
working.
So yeah, they will call me then,
Wow.
you know. But
Wow.
yeah, they know to kind of leave me. I mean, I leave me alone. I mean, just because they know that I'm trying to sleep.
Sure.
So
That I'm wow. I mean, that's a difficult schedule.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's a schedule. I mean, like in Colorado when I was delivering food, I had more of a. It's still not a normal schedule, but
Mm.
like I would go to work at 3 a.m.
Oh wow.
Now, like one night I'll go to work at 10 p.m. The next night I might not go to work till 3 a.m. The next night it might be 9 p.m. I mean, it's so by law I have to have 10 hours off in between my shifts. So there's sometimes that I take 10 hours off and go right back to work. It just depends on where the load's going and what time I need to be there.
Do you drive like
So
a semi?
yeah, yeah. I've got a
Oh.
sleeper, so I sleep in my truck as well.
Oh,
I
okay.
just stay at truck stops. So
Oh.
but like when I was up in your area, I spoke to you a couple years back. I was up in I'm trying to think that town I was in, but we were up in Cleveland and we were up. I was right on one of the lakes.
I don't
There's a
remember. I'm sorry, I don't
yeah.
remember.
This was it was a couple years ago, but I was in.
Hmm. It had been a while ago. I don't
I think
remember
I was
that.
coming out of
Hmm.
Chemung, New York, possibly. No, I was in Somerset, Pennsylvania is where so I was just up there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you weren't too far, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our routes would go, and I can't remember the little town, but there was a little town that was on Lake Michigan. I know one of the lakes. I don't know what lake, but
We're
it was
Lake
one of.
Erie. Ours is Lake Erie.
Oh, maybe it's Erie. Yeah, I don't know, but I was at the very top. I know in the lake, it was right there.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, so I've been around different areas, but yeah, here it's just a weird. I don't know. It's just what it's. I guess you get used to it. You never
Sure.
get used to it, but this is what I have to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I really don't know anything different. I mean, I've
Well,
been driving a truck for 21 years now.
I was gonna ask you how long you've been doing. That's very unique, though. I think that's kind of cool. Like, not a lot of couples can. And you're married or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, not a lot of couples can do that
right,
and have successful marriages and raise children like that.
right.
So it's really
Well, I
kind
mean,
of
she
unique.
does
It's really
everything.
kind of neat.
My wife does everything. I mean, in all reality, my wife does everything,
Mm.
and she always has because when I met her, I think I worked at the warehouse when I met. So I started out in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Then they trained me to be a driver. So then I went to driving. And but yeah, I mean, when my schedule was even night, I was nights in the warehouse. So yeah, I mean, once we had kids and kind of did everything, she's always the one that's had a day job, had a more normal hour job, whatever. She's the one that always, like would call in sick if the
Yeah.
kids were sick, just because with me, I mean, I worked for a union for a little bit. If we called in sick, we got points. You know what I'm saying? There
Mm,
was things to it. And her job's always understood I got a kid that's sick. My jobs have never understood that. You say that and they're kind of like, all right, well, I mean, you got a grandma or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're just like, yeah, they
yeah.
understand or whatever. But yeah, so
Do you,
she's always been the go-to when it comes to all that. She takes the
well,
time off, she goes to the doctor. She, because she works the regular job. So
yeah, well, I give her a lot of credit for that. Do you think that, because that's not easy. That's not easy to manage that type of schedule that you have. Do you think that any of that has to, like, the fact that you can do that has to do with like the discipline, like when you were younger, or like the order, like this is just what it is? Like, do you think anything like, because that's not easy, Zach. That's not an easy
uh,
schedule or easy to maintain a family that way.
I mean, I think for me, I know my whole goal is to make sure that my family has a roof over their head, food, and toys to play with. That's all, because when I was younger, a lot of that we weren't fortunate enough to have a lot of that.
Really?
So, yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
Oh,
we weren't like just, what I'm saying, we weren't balling by any means. And I
wow.
mean, we were definitely on a budget big time. So,
It's wild, man, how when you're young you see things differently. Never did I think
yeah,
that at
yeah.
all. And Brenda, I talked to Brenda and she's like, "You guys were rich." And I'm like, "No." But it's just like, it's just wild. Sorry, go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah.
That's
Well, a lot of
wild.
it, if you look at the house we lived in, it was a nice house.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, at that age, like, I mean,
They
we
were in their
struggled.
30s. They
Yeah,
were young.
we struggled when it was probably more middle school and up, right? Our
Mm,
intermediate up is when but that's when parents are divorced. Things are getting single mom, single. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
it's just a different life, and we're learning how to deal with everything. So,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was that, but I think a lot of it is, I've got to do. I can make good money driving a truck, and if I got to make, if I have weird hours, well, I mean, it's just what it
Mhm.
is. I mean, I just make it work. So I think that's what a lot of it is. It's just I don't like going before I swipe my card. Going, is this going to go through? And I've lived that
Mm,
life. I don't like that. It's just not, and I don't want my
okay.
kids to live that.
Okay.
So
I
that's where
understand.
a lot of it. But at the same time, I put myself at work a lot more because I'm doing everything I can to keep that account, you know, which and at the end of it, I've missed a lot of things, which sucks. But it is, I mean, I've missed some baseball games, I've missed some football games, I've missed some of the sports that happened during the week
Yeah.
because I can't make it, or I'm not in town, I'm not gonna make it home today, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's but
Sure. Of course it does.
it's just a sacrifice. I mean, you got to figure out, do I want to make the sacrifice and be able to have fun,
Mm,
or do I want to be here for everything? And yeah, those
mm,
new shoes you want, sorry, bud, it's just not going to happen. So
yeah. Well, seriously, that's not an easy thing. I'm not just saying that. That's not an easy thing to maintain, especially with a marriage, having a successful marriage and being successful parents. And
right.
for your wife, that has to be hard too, man. And I think that's really cool. I really
She's
do.
always understood. I don't know. I mean,
Well, you found the
I
right
don't know.
person.
She's always understood the schedule. She's been around the business forever. Yeah, I mean, she just, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of, yeah. I mean, she knows, I mean, we've been married 17, 18. 18 years. It'll be 19 in May.
Great.
So, but I mean, we have a daughter that's 20, so we've been together
Yeah.
probably 21 years, give
Yeah.
or take, somewhere around there. But 01, 02, I think it was right after 9/11, probably when we got together, so 02 maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's just
That's
she
great.
does what she has to do and I, you know what I'm saying? And we just kind of like, I don't know. It's somehow most people question how she deals with me just because of, but I mean, yeah, I mean, she's like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to all that shit. So,
Oh, I think that's great. Oh, obviously, you guys picked the right people, right?
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. Thank you for being here with me tonight and talking.
Oh yeah.
I would like you to come back. What I'm hoping to do is have like where it's not just a one-on-one, like I can have up to like a total of 3 people, and just like talk and hang out,
Right.
and same type of thing. It's not like you said something when we were talking on the phone. It's not like a gotcha moment, right? It's not.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a conversation. And for some reason, I want to talk to you guys,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd like you to come back. I really would.
Just let me know. I mean, I'm around. So just let me. I got a question for you.
Sure.
I watched your first episode when it was just him. Jason was interviewing you.
Yeah.
And during your interview, you said the greatest thing is after this, we get to go have sex. So do your guests get to go have sex with Jason also? Is that do I have an option tonight? Do I get to come meet up? Yeah, you don't remember saying that?
No.
Yeah, you said that on the first episode.
Oh my God.
First episode.
No.
Yes. And then I got excited thinking, Jason, here we come,
All right. Well, my podcast is called That One Last Question. So Zach, are you going to go and have sex with her? You don't have to answer.
If he can show me a few things, I'm always willing to learn. So.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God, I'll have to go back. No, sometimes I just think I'm funny and I just start talking.
No. Hey, you're good. But yeah, no, I just thought it was funny. I heard that. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to ask if I get a chance with Jason.
You're funny. You guys can share little tidbits with each other. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I just say stuff sometimes.
I got you.
That's hilarious. Well, thank you so much. I want to talk with you again. This was fun. I hope you had a good time.
It was fun.
It was fun. So what I'm trying to do next is I'm really wanting Cody to come on, and I would really love to like talk with him with like you and John and Cody. Like I just think that'd be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So I don't know if people are reaching out to you thinking like, what's this all about? I hope you had a good time.
Have you talked to Cody? Have you actually contacted him or anything?
I messaged him through Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
And he responded back, or
he did.
He's hard to sometimes get on Messenger, but
he seems very busy. Yeah. But I think he will. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, he's interesting. I mean, I've ran into him over the years. He's just a crazy. I mean, but he's still the same Cody. But he's got the long hair now. I don't have long. He's got the long hair now.
Well, you had a long beard for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I just a couple of days ago it was long. I mean, I told you I had to clean up before I did this, so I went and got my hair cut. Yeah, no, I mean I needed a haircut. The wife already said, "Hey, you need a haircut." I'm like, "Yep." And then it was just kind of I did it before for Halloween, before Thanksgiving. Yeah. I knew we were going to see family and stuff, so I was like, "All right, I'll go ahead and kind of clean everything up a little bit, So yeah, no, it's but no, Cody has long hair now.
Oh, okay.
He wears it up in a headband.
But even when he was younger, he kind of had like floppy hair. It was still a little longer, right? Yeah. He was a little bit of a rebel, like you were too. Like, yeah, he had a little bit of floppy hair.
Yeah. But no, he's long hair now, and he's lost a lot of weight. Last time I saw a picture of him, because he was always kind of a chunky dude all the way up through high school.
Was he?
Yeah, but I mean, I saw a picture. I get to look at his vacation pictures, and they be doing some fun shit. But anyway, but I saw some pictures, and I was like, oh, oh, all right. Well, he's slimming down. So he's been doing something. I don't know what. Uh, he's been doing something to slim down, but I haven't had a chance to. We send car questions back and forth a lot of times because he's got a bunch of cars. He's into cars,
Mm,
and I just always like to hear people that have chances to get some of the stuff he gets because he has
yeah,
some
that's
cool
cool.
cars.
That's
So
cool.
yeah. But
Well, listen, if you talk to him before I do, kind of put a little word in for me. I think it'd
I
be
will.
very
I will.
fun. I really
Yeah,
would. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think he'll do it. I really do. I mean, I think he would have fun doing it.
I think so too. I really do. Zach, thank you so much. I'm going to
Yeah.
end it. It's a little over an hour,
Okay.
but I want to talk with you again. I really do. I had a lot of fun. I really just had a great time just chilling with you, man.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh
what
yeah.
this whole thing is about. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Anytime, just let me know. I mean, you got my number, so just
All right.
give me a shout, and we'll make it work.
And you know what? The same way, same thing back to you. If you were like, you know what, let's hang out and talk again, Carrie, we'll do it.
Okay.
Seriously. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, hon. I'll talk
Thank
to
you.
you soon.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.